说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello, newbies. This is Chinese Pod, come to you from Shanghai, China. My name is Ken Carroll.
And my name is Jenny.
Jenny, please tell us about today's lesson.
Ooh, stinky feet.
Are you talking to me?
No, I certainly am not. Awkward situation, but
Yes.
because of the culture, the
Yes.
shoe etiquette in China, it's unavoidable at points.
That's right. So in China, people visit your house. It's not quite like Japan, but
Where you have to take your
everybody
shoes
takes
off.
off their
对
shoes. But in China, it's quite common.
对
And so sometimes somebody takes off their shoes and maybe doesn't smell very good. So that's what today's lesson is. Why don't we listen to it 3 times, and after that we'll come back and we'll help you to piece it all together.
Dialogue, first time.
要脱鞋吗？
对。真臭。
哦，不好意思。
Second time.
要脱鞋吗？
对。真臭。
哦，不好意思。
Third time.
要脱鞋吗？
对。真臭。
哦，不好意思。
Well, they're definitely friends. You don't tell people you're not familiar with your feet stink. No.
Yeah, these clearly are friends. They're pals, maybe college pals or something like that. And it could even be a joke or partly a joke, but it could also be serious. So, yeah, you're right. Culturally, if it was like a delivery guy or something, it would be extremely rude to tell him
Exactly.
his feet stink. Even if they did, you just have to sort of put up with it.
对。
Anyway, let's take a look in a little more detail. Let's start with the translation.
好，要脱鞋吗？
Do I need to take off my shoes?
要脱鞋吗？
Should I take my shoes off?
要脱鞋吗？对
Yes.
对
Yes.
对，真臭，
Oh, what a smell.
真臭，
Oh, that is really stinky.
真臭。哦，不好意思，
Oh, sorry.
哦，不好意思，
Oh, that's embarrassing.
哦，不好意思。
Ah, there you go.
How would you respond in that situation? I
Me?
think he handled it very diplomatically, both of them.
Well, he kind of, yeah. Well, I don't know what happened afterwards, but I guess he'd just say 不好意思 and everything's okay. I don't know. But there's a lot of really interesting vocab here. Let's look at that first.
对，要脱鞋吗？要脱鞋吗
Now, the first thing is that this is a question. How do we know it's a question?
？Because of the particle 吗 at the end.
That's right. Now, and we have the word for shoes, and that is
鞋，鞋。
yeah, which is the second tone, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And the verb to take off.
脱，脱，
So to take off your shoes is
脱鞋，脱鞋。
脱鞋.
对
Now, 脱 is first tone, right?
对，
And it's interesting, first and second tone together. Let's hear that again, to take off your shoes.
脱鞋，脱鞋。
Good. Now, the verb 脱 works with clothes as well. So you'd 脱 for clothes, for a hat,
Hat,
for
socks.
all of that stuff. Okay. Now, so we had one more verb in this sentence, and
Yes.
that is
要，要。
fourth tone. And yao means want, literally means want.
对
Yeah.
but in here it means do I need
Do I need to? Yeah. So let's hear the whole sentence again.
要脱鞋吗？要 拖鞋吗?
So, do I need to take off my shoes?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, this is definitely very high frequency in the Chinese context.
Absolutely. Culturally, it's a big deal.
It's expected that you ask.
Absolutely. It would be rude not to ask, in fact, when you go to someone's house. And even if you know you're not going to take off your shoes, it's always polite to ask the question.
要拖鞋吗?
So that's being nice when you show up at your friend's house. Now, in this case, she wants him to take off his shoes.
对，对
Doi, it's fairly straightforward.
means yes,
Yes.
correct.
The tone on that is
The fourth tone.
fourth tone. Now, doi is so useful in so many. And quite often people will repeat it over and let's say,
对对对
doi, 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 doi. It's a very useful and it's a fairly emphatic agreement.
Yes.
Doi. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, she made a bad choice because it's...
真臭，真臭
Now, tell us about these two characters, would you?
臭 which is also a fourth tone, means stinky.
Stinky, smelly.
对
Yeah. And the word 真
真 first tone means really.
really.
对
Yeah. So that smells really bad.
真臭，真臭
Wow. Yeah. Now, this is, again, how we said, we know it's two friends.
You can be honest.
You can be honest. That's right. Yeah. So fourth tone, 臭. Now, there's also the smelly tofu, right?
对，臭豆腐，
臭豆腐.
臭豆腐
If you've not smelled 臭豆腐, you
You probably wouldn't want to.
That's right, but it's the same 臭 and it means smelly. Okay.
Yes.
Now, so the guy is kind of embarrassed and he's apologizing and he says,
不好意思，不好意思。
不好意思.
对
Now, this phrase, 不好意思, is an amazing phrase. It's so cultural. It's so subtle in some ways. It can be used in so
Exactly.
many ways.
Well, essentially it means I'm sorry. It's an apology.
It's an apology.
But just now you translated it as embarrassing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's the best translation.
It can be, right? In this situation, 不好意思, it's so useful.
I feel embarrassed that my feet stink.
And-
不好意思。
And it relates to face and it relates to all sorts of things. But to be 不好意思 means, I'm sorry for my shortcomings. Kind
Yes,
of thing.
exactly.
It's embarrassing. I'm so sorry. But it's a very, very nice phrase and it's really useful. It's a great way to apologize for practically anything.
对
Not a very serious thing, to be honest. Something
Exactly.
less significant. I mean, you wouldn't.
不好意思。
You wouldn't go blow up the house and then go 不好意思.
No.
But for small little social faux pas, perhaps,
对
it's perfect for that. So let's hear it again.
不好意思，不好意思。
Now, literally translated, 不好 means bad, and 意思 means
Meaning.
meaning. So
对
bad meaning, but don't read it too literally.
Exactly.
So this language is actually, very high frequency, quite useful. All right, let's listen to that 3 more times, shall we?
好，
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
Dialogue first time.
要脱鞋吗？
对。真臭。
不好意思。
Second time.
要脱鞋吗？
对。真臭。
不好意思。
Third time.
要脱鞋吗？
对。真臭。
哦，不好意思。
Visiting people's houses again one more time. Like we said, in Japan, you always do it.
对。
In China, you always ask. Generally speaking, when you visit someone, Jenny, you take off your shoes or not in Shanghai?
When I visit friends and if their home is spotless,
Yes.
then they make you take off your shoes.
Yes.
But I find it's interesting that when you visit relatives,
Yes.
your own family,
Yeah.
you don't need to take off your
Okay.
shoes.
You
Yeah.
don't need to 脱鞋.
对.
yeah.
Maybe it's a sign that you are really close family.
Wow.
So I don't think your shoes are dirty, or I don't mind you dirt my floor.
Yeah. But if you're visiting someone that you don't know very well, I strongly recommend that you ask.
Exactly.
Because people might feel embarrassed to say to you. They might be obsessive about, 脱鞋. And if you
对。
don't ask, it'll seem...
他们不好意思问.
Yes.
They would feel 不好意思 to ask you to
Yes.
take off your shoes.
And so you might be coming up with, it might kind of, upset them. So always ask, that's a little tip.
对。
So always ask the question.
要脱鞋吗？要脱鞋吗？
That's right. Okay, that was a newbie lesson. We hope it was useful. And we'll be back again, of course, with another lesson tomorrow. But right now, it's time for us to say
再见。
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1115.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/1115 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1115.